Okay, this is the living room. This is the living room closet. This is the crawl space access. Not the largest, I get that. Alright. So this is the front door. This does not have to be tempered safety glass because it's decorative. Okay, this is the screen door. We're missing some louvers right here. This fireplace is a single wall fireplace. It's for gas appliances, like a gas oven. The hearth extent by today's standards, our hearth extension is less than 24 inches. It does not have a glass front, save energy, but again, the time does not have a screen. Screens are not required by code, by the way. This combustible material is closer to the firebox than 12 inches. It's been capped off, it's decommissioned. The fireplace chimney itself, okay, is clogged. A lot of these windows have been decommissioned, they've been wrapped with plastic. We're missing some balance cords in here. All the windows should be redone. This is a floor furnace. It's a dated system. I suggest that you might want to remove it and have the flooring redone in this area. These are two-prong electric receptacle outlets. They were okay when the house was built. However, the Texas Real Estate Commission considers that a safety device, having the grounding. So that's deficient by design. We've got some wall movement, ceiling movement. It's all pretty typical. Okay, coming along here, we got a single thermostat downstairs. It's not programmable. Okay, moving on along. Some of these receptacles have been updated. We're going to look at these a little better. We're in the kitchen. This kitchen range, electric range, it does not have an anti-tip device. Got the food waste disposal. It's 1/3 horsepower. Dishwasher, refrigerator. Refrigerator is cold. It does not have an ice maker. All right. Put some light on the subject. How about that? These steps going down. Okay, pie-shaped steps, and they're too steep, and they're not dimensionally uniform, and you have less than 6 foot 10 inches of headroom. So these steps are just, and it's less than 24 inches wide, I believe. I'll measure that. Okay, we're coming in here. We got some interesting wiring here. These are all cables. This is probably to do without that. Exposed NM cable closer to the garage floor than 6 feet. Okay, it should be sealed up. Coming on over here, this is the water heater. It's electric water heater. It's in the garage. It still should have been picked up. It still should have been picked up, and it wasn't. It's actually 16 inches over the garage floor. The water heater is 40 gallons. It's several years old. We do not have an expansion tank. You've only got 40 psi. These water supply lines to the tank, they should have been insulated. TNP drain line, it should have been insulated. I'm not sure where it discharges to. I'll know more about when I get into the crawl space. I do not have a care and use manual, do not have a safety pan. We can see right here that the grounding wire was hooked up. That right there, that little round thing, that's a fiber mineral material. That's what's left of something. It appears to be something of what's left of a possible asbestos venting system. Again, all these lines in here in the garage, they all should have been insulated going to the water heater. Coming along in here, this is the clothes dryer. This is the clothes dryer vent. The negative drainage on this side of the driveway. You can see that water has come in here. Let's see if we can get more power on this. There we go. You can see water's come in here. You got wood damage on the bottom of these doors. These doors are locked. You've got wood rot right there where the casement's in direct contact with the ground. Okay. At one time, I think the way this floor is sectioned up, this was probably dirt in the middle at one time. That was pretty common back in the day. Electric receptacle outlets in garages should be GFCI protected. These are the two sub panels. These are Federal Pacific breaker boxes. Okay. So there's not a code that says that I have to condemn these because they're Federal Pacific. I got to tell you, they're very unpopular. It's my professional opinion that it would be prudent to budget for replacing these panels. Now there's a main principle outside, so these are both sub panels. This is 100 and this is the 70 amps. All right, the white hots, okay, they should be wrapped with black tape. White hots should be wrapped with black tape. Getting in here, These L1 and L2s should be covered with rubber boots. Getting up in there is we're still on 100 amp one, and you can see that you got a ground wire and neutral wires sharing the same bus bar. This is a sub panel. They should not share the same bus bar. And neutrals should not be double lugged. And up here we've got a neutral and a ground wire double lugged right there on the bus bar. And we should not have had that. Okay, coming along here. This is the 70 amp bus bar. It's also a Federal Pacific. What we're looking at here is L1 and L2. I can hardly see how you can put rubber booties on those. That probably wouldn't even apply to that. But we're going over here and wires touching the cabinet cover. Neutrals and grounds are sharing the same bus bar. So there's a lot of the same sins on these things. The panels are not properly labeled. The bonding location is not labeled inside of this panel. And then again, I mean, I'm not 6 foot tall, so this NM cable right here, closer to the garage floor than 6 feet, should have been sealed. We don't have grounding over here. Is that broken? Yeah, we've got a little broken. No, that's a scratch. Never mind. Don't hit your head on the light. Moving along, back up the stair-step steps. Continuing on. Storm doors are beyond the scope of this inspection, but this door does not fit squarely in its frame. It does not have a closer mechanism to hold the door open. And we're missing one of the lens, and so it's probably missing a screen as well. Windows closer to the doors, at 24 inches, should be tempered safety glass. These French doors, these window lights that are larger than 4 inches and they're not decorative like the front door, they should be tempered safety glass. So as we're moving right on along, okay? 4 or more steps should have a handrail. Alright, these steps feel a little bit steep, so we're going to investigate that here in just a little bit. We're moving right on along into the bathroom. The bathroom sink does not have a percolator. Some people call that an overflow valve. They're not required by law, okay, or by code. It's just good information to know. Okay, we do not have an escutcheon plate for the drain line right there. The commode lid is cracked. I recommend that these wall heaters, these non-vented wall heaters, be removed. I do not recommend that they be used. I'm probably going to find that the drain stopper doesn't work on the bathtub because you have exterior drain stopper and you should not have separate control handles. Separate control handles, you could accidentally scald yourself. So you should have one single control valve. Then moving to the window, this window has been decommissioned, it's been painted closed, and the cords are missing. So at that point, without an operable window, then this bathroom should have a vent fan, which it does not. So fix the window or get a fan. Yeah. So the air filter is 24 by 24 by 1, and it's right here. And the original air filter is taped up in the attic space. There's another wall heater. Again, I recommend removing it. No grounding. Now this bathtub is interesting right here. I took this panel off. All right. What's interesting about this is this overflow drain and the drain. It doesn't really have a P-trap. It just goes down. But then later, I don't know if you can get in here and see this. But later the pipe comes up, so it's kind of like a field construct. It's kind of a homemade P-trap. I really don't see any reason why it wouldn't operate. Now we've got some supports over here underneath the bathtub. We've got some fresh wood scabbed on the back side. But we come over here on this front side. It's probably why the fresh wood was scabbed there. We got some wood rod in there. See that? Okay. Now, colds on the hot. This looks like an amateurish repair on the water supply line here. So it might have been bonding for something electrical. It looks more like a repair to me, actually. So I suggest cutting that section out and replacing it. Rocket science. Replace this guy. Should not have bare light bulbs in closed closets. Alright, another painted closed window. It's got chain balance cords there. That's interesting. I'll try and work that in a little bit. A little wood right in there. Okay, all this gas piping can be removed when you closet light doesn't work. All this gas piping can be removed when you remove that wall heater. Those windows coming on along here. This smoke alarm does not work. All right, we've got a smoke alarm here, smoke alarm there, smoke alarm there. We need a fourth smoke alarm in the downstairs living area. Also, we need carbon monoxide alarm up here. One carbon monoxide alarm, multi-use smoke and carbon monoxide alarm right here would be sufficient. Moving up here, 4 more steps. Again, should have a handrail. These stairs do not appear to be 36 inches wide. Okay, and that step appears to be higher than the 7.5 inches. We'll measure all that. Coming along here, okay, window closer to the floor than 24 inches and farther from the ground than 72 inches. You shouldn't be able to open it, because kids could spill out of it and become injured. Okay. In the meantime, you do need emergency egress in the bedroom. And across here, that smoke alarm works. This is the closet. It used to be upholstered. Moving along here, got a little step. Watch it. Moving in here, we're going into the attic space. All right, so attic space. Air duct should not be laying on the ground. Air duct should not have more than 1/2 inch gap in it. Air duct should not be kinked. Air duct should not leak where it's attached to the plenum. Coming up in here. All right. This old knob and tube wiring, it's all been decommissioned. This house does not have knob and tube wiring. Coming along here, we're supposed to have a 24 inch walkway to service the indoor air handler, which we do not have. All right, we got rusty water in the safety pan right there. Rusty water in the safety pan. Alright, there's an electric disconnect. The gas line does not have a sediment trap on it. Again, this is all this system is old. It's like 19 years old. Should not be kinked. I'm not finding any attic insulation. Recommend insulating the attic. The framing to the chimney is closer than 4 inches. I'm supposed to call that deficient. I haven't seen an older house that has a chimney that has where the framing wasn't closer than 4 inches, but that's what I'm supposed to do. This is your ridge beam going up and down here. These are your rafters, and every other rafter should have a collar beam tied to it to prevent rafter spread. These rafters are kind of small, I gotta say, and the ridge beam should at least be as wide as the rafters. So we've got that going on here. More of that knob and tube wiring I was talking about. Black iron pipe. Surely I can find something else to talk about. Still no attic insulation. We got storage in the attic. Coming along here, it's my understanding that the asbestos was removed from the structure. But this vent pipe right here, that's an asbestos vent pipe. Alright, and this is OSB decking, roof decking. OSB, which over lath. This used to be a wooden shingle roof back in the day, and it's no longer that. We shouldn't have electric cables closer to the door than 16 inches. The leads going into that are pretty long. That's an old version of NM cable, I'm not going to tell you, but it is NM cable. This is an improper electric junction right there. That should have been in a junction box. Let's see what else we can find. There's your blinds, in case you need some. And then I'm just about done here.